Hello again and welcome back. I'm going to be reading from my first collection of short stories, News from Home. And again, this doesn't have a book description, but I'll read a short review by Teju Cole, author of Every Day is for the Thief and other books. With this collection of stories, Shoinka Prize-winning author Sefi Atta consolidates her position as one of the leading writers of her generation. The stories which take us from Zamfara to Mississippi, with many points in between, are written with quiet virtuosity. Atta's control of tone is remarkable, especially given that she often takes on subjects, immigration, religion, domestic abuse, that in lesser hands tend to become polemical or preachy. What we get from Atta are compulsively readable tales leavened with sly wit and a generous vision. That was a generous review. You know, people often describe my works as witty, but I think wit is all about timing. It's about being quick. And I'm not quick. And I revise. Wit doesn't give you time to revise. But I'll take sly. I like sly. I'm going to read from A Temporary Position. For about 4 or 5 months before I began my accountancy training at Price Waterhouse in London, I had a temporary job as a receptionist at the head office of a company I'm not going to name because I was not legally allowed to work there. The visitor's visa in my Nigerian passport clearly stated this: leave to enter the United Kingdom for 6 months, employment prohibited. Luckily, I was living in my parents' flat in Pimlico, rent-free. They paid all the bills and had also offered to give me a little something, as my father would say, until I joined Price Waterhouse and was able to apply for a work permit. I had told him no thanks. At 22 years old, with a degree from London School of Economics and 1 year's national service, which I had spent working at the Nigerian Stock Exchange, I really didn't think I ought to be getting pocket money anymore. And it wasn't just that my pride came before English immigration laws. I planned to eat out as often as I could in London, shop, go to the cinema and to nightclubs, and perhaps travel within Europe. This was in the mid-1990s, and my father's a little something turned out to be just 50 quid a week. I was part of a group, huge community really, of Nigerian graduates living in London. Some of us were getting financial support from our parents. Some were working illegally, as I intended to do. And others were collecting dole checks somehow. We used fake national insurance numbers. No one was getting caught. The office I worked in was off Oxford Street, which wasn't a bad commute from Pimlico on a daily basis by tube. I didn't have to change lines. During the morning rush hour, there wasn't much of a crowd either, which was just as well, what with people thinking they could get away with not bathing. It was the end of spring and the beginning of summer. Occasionally the sun shone, and I'll shut my eyes, imagining I was somewhere else in Europe, somewhere more exciting and beautiful, like Barcelona. I'd forget the Thames looked like tepid tea, and the pavements were splattered with saliva, chewing gum, and pigeons' droppings, except when the rain poured so heavily that they oozed a brown muck. The office itself was rather un-English, I thought. It had none of that dark, depressing wood furniture or those intimidating bronze relics. Instead, there was steel, glass, and a maze of compartments made of a light wood, very IKEA-ish, and the island of grey carpet in the reception area reeked of an addictive chemical. Kath, the head secretary, escorted into my workstation on my first day, and I felt so bad because whatever she said, she reminded me of Pepe Le Pew, the cartoon skunk. Her hair was black and pulled into a ponytail with a single curl. Her suit was cream-colored, made of crepe, and her voice was full of mucus. Kath was a smoker. Thank you for listening.